Alright, let's talk about some Titanfall 2. Widely regarded as one of the best first-person shooters of all time. Critics loved it, fans loved it, everybody loved it. And yet, almost nobody played it. How does a game this good get buried in the land of video games? Well, buckle up, because it is a perfect storm of timing, marketing, and just plain old bad luck. Of course, before we have to talk about Titanfall 2, let's talk about Titanfall 1. Titanfall 1 set the stage. It was a fast movement, mech-based shooter and the multiplayer that was genuinely fun. The big problem, and what knocked it off, was that there was no single-player campaign. There was nothing for the casual audience to get attracted to. Nothing for YouTube personalities to hype up. Just fast, punishing multiplayer. Critically loved, but it never really hit the mainstream. It was the cool underground club nobody could join if they didn't own an Xbox. Speaking of Xbox, Titanfall 1 was exclusive to Xbox One and PC, which is really bad when you consider that PlayStation kind of stole Xbox's lunch this generation of consoles. That meant no PlayStation fans, who are like half the gaming population, give or take, and only a small subject of PC fans. Exclusivity can work if you have IP power, brand power. Let's think Halo before recently, God of War for a better example. Titanfall, not so much. Titanfall didn't have the brand power that those two franchises I mentioned previously had. It's like opening a Michelin star restaurant in a gas station. It was a good idea, but your audience is just way smaller. Titanfall 2 decided though, hey, let's fix that. We'll make it crossplay, or we'll give it to PlayStation and added a single player campaign. And everybody loves this single player campaign. Brilliant level design, clever story moments, movement challenges that feel rewarding. Essentially, if they released this on a USB stick with no multiplayer, people would still be talking about it today. But here's the thing. When your previous game in the series didn't have a multiplayer, players didn't buy it for single player. When your original game was multiplayer only, people won't buy this game because of the single player. Multiplayer is king in shooters, and while the campaign was incredible, it wasn't enough to drag players from other games. You can make the Mona Lisa of FPS campaigns, but if everybody else is in Chuck E. Cheese Freddy Fazbear's, it doesn't really matter. Now, let's talk about timing. Titanfall 2 released in 2016, specifically November of 2016. And 2016 was one of the worst years, if not the worst year in history to release a shooter. We have the boomer shooter resurgence in Doom, Overwatch, the Gears of War, Battlefield 1, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Fun fact, Titanfall 2 released between Battlefield 1 and Infinite Warfare. And if you're an indie fan, Super Hot. Imagine trying to throw a party in a city where 3 other people are having way bigger parties at the same time. That's Titanfall 2. It was a brilliant game, just horrid, terrible timing. And speaking of Battlefield 1, look, I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, EA sabotaged Titanfall 2 because they wanted to advertise Battlefield 1. Well, here's the thing about Battlefield 1, that game had it all. Brand recognition, historical hype, insane marketing, and overall the game was just good. Battlefield 1 was a very fun game. Titanfall 2 was like the indie rock band with 15 fans opening for, I don't know, Elvis, Prince, Michael Jackson, whichever famous musician you want to use in this metaphor. People wanted the Battlefield experience, in Titanfall 2, well, it had skill and nuance and a great campaign instead of explosions and, I don't know, Wrens and Dukes. Was that in Battlefield 1? I don't know. And memes. Quality alone doesn't sell games. You cannot sell yourself based on quality. Now, let's talk about gameplay. Titanfall 2 was skill-based. Movement, aim, Titan deployment, map knowledge, and it's a game that rewards practicing. And that's amazing if you actually want it to be good at a shooter. Problem is, the FPS scene is very casual. And casual players don't want to learn an advanced movement system just to enjoy a few rounds. They want spray and They want spray and pray gameplay, kill cams, cosmetics, and instant gratification. Titanfall 2 is like training for a marathon just to get a participation ribbon. Hardcore fun, although it did have a tiny audience. And the community loved it. People still talk about Titanfall 2 today. But the community was small. Small player base means longer matchmaking. And if you're attentive to multiplayer games, this is what we call a death spiral. Small player base means longer matchmaking, which means that it's harder to keep new players engaged, and very quickly you're in where did everybody go mode. Even amazing games need critical mass. Without it, it doesn't matter how good your game is, you're essentially playing in a slightly bigger empty server. So, what can we learn from Titanfall 2? Number 1, timing is everything. Do not release your masterpiece in the same window as the biggest franchises. Unless your name is Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Halo, it's obviously going to be risky. 2, platform exclusivity can kill potential growth. Be careful on who you leave out. 3, hardcore gameplay is a double-edged sword. It earns respect but alienates casual players. And 4, of course, marketing matters as much as the game itself. You could have the best shooter of the decade, maybe even the century, and still get buried. Titanfall 2, brilliant, innovative, and quietly forgotten. And that's the lesson. Quality doesn't guarantee success in this business. Sometimes even a great game isn't enough. In Hollywood, they call it show business. Out here in the game industry, we say there's no business like retention business. Shout out to 50 Cent on that one. All right, see you.